Hi everyone, my name is Leanne and today I'm bringing you a book unhaul. I know you guys love watching people get rid of books and it's very therapeutic and healing to give your shelves a little cleanse. I'm not going to be able to get rid of these books immediately because I'm still not that keen on going out in the open, but eventually these books will be finding new homes in secondhand bookshops. There are a variety of reasons why I might unhaul a book, and I definitely unhaul books a lot more than I used to. I used to be someone who thought they could keep hold of every book they've ever read, which is stupid. I know I definitely can't do that. So now I'm a much bigger fan of unhauling books than I used to be. I tend to unhaul books every few months. There are a variety of reasons why I might unhaul a book. Maybe it was just one that I didn't feel any particular connection to, even if it wasn't bad. I just don't really feel like I want to keep hold of it. In saying that, it could be actively bad and I just think it's trash. Or it could just be a book that I don't feel like represents me as a reader. Sometimes I read a book and I know, yeah, I don't want to keep hold of this. Sometimes they can sit on my shelves for months to years before I realise, do you know what? This may have represented me X amount of time ago, but it doesn't represent me as a reader anymore. And we've got a mix of those in this unhaul. I feel like I've explained the concept of unhauling books too much, so I'm just going to get into telling you about them. Sarah by J.T. Leroy is one of the few books that falls into the category of I didn't like this book, but I don't think it's so productive to slate books, so I hope this finds a better home. Legion by David Harsand is a collection of war poetry that I appreciated, was really great, but it doesn't really represent me in any way. Holding by Graham Norton was a book that I read back for the Irish Readathon, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, but I can't see myself ever rereading this, and I also don't think it kind of represents me in any way beyond it being Irish. I think someone would enjoy this a lot more than it just being on my shelf. The Keeper of Lost Things by Ruth Hogan is a book that I think a lot of people would really enjoy, but it's just really not for me. I find Ruth Hogan's books quite both predictable and twee, which I don't really get on with, but I think someone else would really appreciate it and it would look beautiful on their bookshelf. Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. This is the copy that I read in university when I studied a Victorian childhoods module. I didn't massively love Treasure Island, but I would like to replace this book with a Penguin English Library version of it, so that's why I'm sending this one on its way. You may remember a little while ago I did a video where my friend Vic picked my book haul, and I'm going to be unhauling two of the books that she got me. They are Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli and Anthony Horowitz's The House of Silk. I was so glad that I read these books, but I just don't feel like they really represent me as a reader, and I know Vic is someone that tends to read books and then pass them on to someone else, so I kind of also want to honor her approach to reading by sending these to someone else that will get something out of them. Next up, I have The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling. Do I really need to say anything more about that? I do really like The Casual Vacancy as a book. I enjoyed it a lot, but I don't think I'm ever going to reread it. The hard copy is just too fucking big for me to deal with. Fucking hate J.K. Rowling. I have an emotional attachment to my Harry Potter books. I don't have an emotional attachment to The Casual Vacancy, so it can go. The Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I have to say her name so slowly. I always stumble over my words when I try and say her name. I read The Secret Garden and it's fine. It hasn't aged well. I just don't really feel like I want to read A Little Princess. I don't even really know what it's about, but it's probably rich girls being fucking sad or something. Penguin's Poems for Life, selected by Laura Barber. This was a book that someone gave me as a gift and I don't want it anymore. So yeah, I would have unhauled this years ago, apart from the fact that it's addressed to me, which makes me feel like I can't unhaul it. Even though when I buy secondhand books, I don't have any problem with it being inscribed to someone else, but I'm gonna feel so happy when this book is out of my life. That's not about the book. Next I have Stand Up and Suck It to Them Sister by Gwenno Daffyd. This is a book that is all about women in comedy, and that on the surface seems like something I would really, really love, but it's less of a kind of analysis of female comedians' experience and more kind of here are the names of some women and here's a short bio on who they are. And I've tried to read this book so many times and DNF'd it so many times. Angela's Ashes by Frank McCourt. If you know anything about this book, you'll know that's fucking sad. I think it's an important book. It's a very important book, but I just don't really want it on my shelves anymore. I'm never gonna reread it. Next I have The Magic Thief by Kendall Cooper. I read this quite a few years ago and didn't realise at the time it was the second book in a series, but I did really enjoy it and I remember being really surprised by how much I enjoyed it. I was really drawn to this book because I think the cover is just so beautiful. I fairly recently, probably a year ago, bought the first book in the series, and then over time I realised I actually didn't want to read it, so I don't know why I've kept hold of this one. And finally, what I'm getting rid of. I'm getting rid of The Lord of the Rings, and I've feel so good about it. I don't like high fantasy. I don't like Lord of the Rings. If you do like Lord of the Rings, I am so happy for you. I'm so glad that brings you joy, but God, it does not give me any joy. I don't even know why I have these books. I feel like I kind of kept hold of them to like prove that I've read them, because I have. I think when I was a teenager, I didn't really know what I wanted to read, and because I'd read another very popular fantasy series, I thought, yeah, I must read Lord of the Rings, because I thought I was like different and nerdy and not like other girls. For one, I don't think Lord of the Rings necessarily makes you nerdy, but I thought these were like the books that I was supposed to like, and they're really not. I have kept hold of The Hobbit because I actually really like The Hobbit and I did study it at university. But these books are they take up so much space, and they don't bring me joy. They'll bring someone else joy, and I'm really happy for that person. That's it. They are all the books that I'm getting rid of today. I say today. In a few weeks, I don't really know when these books will actually be leaving my house. I'm sorry if I unhauled your favourite book. Don't take it personally. No need to be a little bitch about it. That's all I'm going to talk about today. I hope you guys are doing well, staying safe, and I will talk to you in my next video.